there's so many people focusing on so many things, right? We have all
Yes.
the news sources doing nothing but 24-hour news, right? They don't need me there. So I'm not there to break news for you. I'm not there to try and scoop the rest of the people. I really couldn't care less if I was the 10th person or the 20th person or the 50th person to break the news, but I promise you I'll be responsible about it.
Yeah.
You can know that if you go to the page, it's a source of valuable and reliable, verified information. And yes, it's not going to be cutting edge, but hey, if you don't find out the news 5 minutes before your friend, believe me, that's not going to be the deal breaker here. The deal breaker here is just keeping calm, because there's also, that's why I want to focus my attention and my efforts on keeping people calm, because panic will kill us more than the virus.
Yeah.
We've seen it already through hoarding. We haven't experienced yet mass crime or anything like that, and I hopefully to God we do not experience any of that, because that will just lead to we'll lose control of that, and nobody wins with that. Nobody. So I want to make sure that I always maintain a tone of calmness. I don't want to get too into the, okay, this is all wrong, etc. There's some things I want to comment on. That's just my frame of mind, Chris. It's not for my personal, I don't want to get the controversy. No, it's like, I will only have 24 hours a day. I only have so much energy to give. If I spend that energy fighting haters that go, see, whatever, because it's, you know what, I'm wasting all the valuable time that I could be using just bringing people together, calming them down, sharing resources. There's so many positive things that you can do on a page. With a following, that's what I want to focus my energy on. That's why it bugs me to death when I see mainstream media picking fights for no reason. I mean, it's so trivial. It's, guys, grow up. And now, does it seem so silly now? A week later, you realize that we have bigger problems to deal with than just, he misplaced a word, or he did this, or he did that. You know, can you all grow up a little bit?
So what's your take then? Interesting how you brought it up. And what's your take right now? Because of the coronavirus, I think it shows that there are a lot of, I've been getting a lot of fake news, conspiracy theories, and people believe this shit. But what's your take on it? Like in terms of fake news and conspiracy theories, and how to be able to watch out for it and be careful of it, because there's a lot spreading around right now.
Okay, stay out of the hot zone. And by that, I mean, you're right there on the breaking edge of news. You're never going to get reliable information if you're sitting there at the breaking edge of news wanting to be first, because there's so much high risk. That's like I'll go back to racing terms again, because that's what I'm saying. That's like a car dangling on the edge. When it has an accident, you don't say it's an accident. No, it was begging to happen, because they were just dangling on the knife's edge. That's what you're doing when you're checking your phone every 2 minutes. All right, you're trying to get fed with news, because you're putting your brain into a state of mind. I'll try this with you. Let me just try a little. Spell silk.
I'm sorry, spell.
Can you spell the word silk?
Silk. S-I-L-K.
Very good. Now, what do cows drink?
I was gonna say milk.
Okay, you were gonna say milk. All right.
But because I thought about it a little bit, I didn't react.
Okay, because I exactly. 9 out of 10 people or 8 out of 10 people will say milk straight away. Like, you had to pause and you were like, okay, I was going to say milk. Why? Because your brain was prepped for it.
Right. I like that.
I asked you to spell silk. All right. So there's a point to this, because you say spell silk, S-I-L-K. That's already in your brain. So what do cows drink? Milk. There are many examples of this. And like 8 or 9 out of 10 people fail it because you prepared your brain. What you do is, when you prepared your brain for bad news, you're picking up only certain signals. You're picking up only frequencies that you have tuned into. That's very important to get out of that zone. Don't in the airport, when you come from your flight, and those people that stand past the yellow line, the baggage carousel, don't be that person. Stay a few steps behind. Your luggage will still come. You won't miss it. I guarantee you. You can stay 10 steps behind. You'll still see it come out. You don't have to be right there in the front blocking everybody, because it takes a while, dude. By the time the luggage comes up, you're like, oi, I think I see my maleta. You have time to say goodbye to the friend. I'll see you later. Okay, say goodbye. All right, go. And then you walk to your maleta. Why do you have to be right there? Okay, that's the same with news. Don't be right there in the hot zone behind the yellow line. Because even if you do get your breaking news and you're 3 minutes ahead of your friends, how has that helped you?
Yeah,
Has it
right.
really given you 3 minutes advantage? Have you fled the city 3 minutes before us? No, because you're not allowed to flee the city. So, in knowing that, the risk versus reward, there's not much reward there. So, what's the risk? The risk is you are donating the most valuable commodity in today's era, your attention. So now you're forcing news groups to fight over your attention. Step back a little bit. It'll force the news agencies to be a little bit more responsible, to take just the extra breath to say, wait, let's verify this first.
Right.
Rappler just got busted today. Well, they came out with their erratum today. You know how embarrassing that is at this point in time where they called Cayetano fake news. There's nothing to do with personalities. I have no affiliation with any political party or anything, but they had to apologize. You know what that does to your credibility when you're trying at the moment to be that credible source, but for
Yep.
the sake of what, a minute or two, you jumped the gun. Why? Maybe you wanted to believe that news. Maybe that was in your head already. Maybe that was where you were just waiting for the fact to fall into place. Not
Mm.
fact I use loosely, but the nugget to fall into place. That's the information you need to tie it together. But boom,
But
Oriente.
but I think also,
Just
no,
stay
there
back
are,
a bit.
yeah, I think also there are a lot of people that are just spreading news that aren't even news. Like somebody's like how it happened with the looting at one point. People were
Yeah,
spreading stories, urban myths, legends about, oh, this happened to my tita's daughter's friend, and
yeah, yeah.
then you ask who's tita, whose daughter, and then there's nobody. It's
Yeah, I
crazy.
got it from a group. I got it from a group, dude.
Yeah, exactly. And then for me, I think people are excited. Generally, us citizens are also excited to share stories like that because we like the idea of the one to break it to our friends that I
Mm.
knew it first. So there's that ego of letting everyone know that I was the one who first told everyone about it, whether it's true or not. It's
Dude, that
crazy.
is primal. It's that thing you just mentioned is mentioned in the book Sapiens. It's a primal need. The need to have information that other people don't have is one of the most valuable things in society. It gives you power. So even if you don't understand the whole what you're doing, it's in you. It's how we're programmed as human beings. We now have that's how we structure our society. We give we want to stand out, we want to have information other people have, it gives us power. So some people don't do it with bad intentions, and they can be just as damaging. The one that says better to be safe than sorry na lang anak, that's a person that doesn't have bad intentions, but the result is still very bad. It's just as bad as had you just made that up, because the effect will still go out. Remember, not everyone will get the disclaimer better to be safe than sorry anak, because once that anak sends it out, you've lost that thing and it's now out there like wildfire. Like I remember somebody spread the news of the looting, and that affected the grocery stores straight away,
Oh my God.
because the problem with fake news is something like that. When you talk about looting and panic, it can become real fast. But do you know what that could do? We're living in a powder keg right now. The smallest spark could start something that we could quickly lose control over. This is why I keep telling people to just please. If you're confused about anything, try to live like this. Treat yourself as positive,
Yes.
COVID positive, always, and treat every news that you get as fake unless it comes from a credible news source. When I say credible news source, yes, our mainstream sometimes get it wrong, but there's accountability that's far greater than your tita in the WhatsApp group that knows a friend who knows a friend from church who really it happened to. Okay, so there's accountability. And if you share from GMA7, ABS, CNN, whatever you share from, the liability goes to them. What
Yes.
you don't want to do is pull that out information and send it out, because then we lose control of the source. Remember, there's a reason they call it viral, because it shares so much with the virality of these diseases. Fake news spreads a lot faster because
Yep.
with COVID, it's by contact. Some say it's a little airborne, but within a few meters. Online, that's the whole world, man.